Hi, third graders, Miss Whitford here, and we are going to be doing some measurement today. I think you should have fun with this because you get to measure something of your choice. And just like in the book, when the girl measured Penny, you are going to get to measure an animal of your choice. So you may have brought in a stuffed animal from home. If you didn't, you can borrow one of mine. I am using one of my very favorite stuffed animals. This is a horse from the Rainbow Bright cartoon back from the 1980s, which was awesome. The horse's name is Starlight. So I'm going to talk about how we're going to do this. So first thing is that we are going to be using standard units and then non-standard units. And for your standard units, you're going to use a ruler. I know we've talked a lot about using the ruler. So for this part over here where it says measurement tool for each part, so measurement is going to be ruler, ruler, and ruler. You're going to be using a ruler to measure those things. So you can already fill that out if you want to. So the next thing that you're going to do is that you're going to estimate the size that you think it is. Remember, we're using standard units, not non-standard units. It's not non-standard units, so we are using inches. So that's the bigger one, like the one where it goes to 12 because there's 12 inches in a foot. And then there's three things that you're going to be measuring: the length, the width, and the height. So for the horse, length, width is how wide it is, and then the height is up and down to get how high it is. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is estimate the size. So for my example, I'm going to start with the length. About how many inches do I think the horse is? So I want to go from like tail to nose. I would say about a foot. So my estimate is going to be 12 inches. Okay, I want to estimate the width. Width is going to be this way. So I would say about 4 inches. And then the height, all the way up and down, I would say, let's say 10 inches. All right, so then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to actually measure my item. So remember, I'm using inches, so I want to start with the length. Okay, so it's going to be hard for you to see, but I'll show you here. So I'm going length all the way to the nose. It is, I don't know if you can see it. It is right at 10 inches. I was pretty close. So my actual measure is 10 inches. For the width, like how far wide it is, start here. It is 3.5. Ooh, I was very close. 3.5. Oh, and when you measure, you only need to go to the closest inch, half inch, or quarter inch. You don't need to go to like the eighths or sixteenths or anything. And then the last thing is the height. So straight up and down. It is 11.5 inches. 11.5 inches. Okay. So for this next part, it says weight and capacity. You don't need to do that. We are not, because capacity would be liquid, right? And my stuffed animal doesn't have liquid in it, so I'm not going to worry about measuring the liquid. Like maybe if it was like one of those dolls that like can drink water, maybe it has liquid in it. Don't worry about capacity. And then weight, I don't have enough scales to measure weight, and we haven't even talked about standard units of weight yet, so don't worry about that. So then the next thing that you're going to do after that, after you've used the standard unit of measure, which is your ruler, you are going to use a non-standard unit of measure. Basically, that means you can use something else to measure your stuffed animal. Fun fact, horses are measured in hands. So that's just like if you, Spencer probably knows that horses are measured in hands. But if you want to use something else to measure your animal, you can use your hands if you want to. I'm going to show you a few different objects that you can use. All right, big thanks to these people for letting me use their things, even though they don't know that they're letting me use them. Atlas and Emma. So you can use, maybe I want to use an eraser to do some measurements. So maybe I want to use the eraser to measure how long something is. So when I talk about my measurement tool, I'm going to write what it is that I'm using. So if I'm using an eraser, and then I want to make an estimate about how long the horse is going to be in eraser. So that's going to be my unit. So one eraser is this long. Here's my horse. I think it's going to be about 5 erasers long. So I would put that 5. And now I'm going to actually measure it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my gosh, I was exactly right. It is 5. So then after that, you can decide if you want to use the same unit, if you want to use a different unit, like a name tag, if you want to measure like in name tags, however you want to do it. So then what you would do is you would write your measurement tool here, make your estimate, and then actually measure to see how long or how wide or how tall the item is. After that, there's a few other questions that I want you to think about. You can answer these by yourself, or you can work with a partner if you want to. Just thinking about the difference between standard and non-standard units of measurement, and then thinking, why do we use standard units? Why would we use non-standard units of measure? And then what's the point of that? Like, why would I need to know that? Maybe if you don't have something out, like think about the story that I told about when I wanted to see like how big or how wide the apartment was, when I was like, oh, I don't know how big it is, but you could use your feet to kind of figure it out. And also thinking like, why is it important to use standard units of measurement? Like think about if the carpet was like 10 of my feet, but 20 of Miss Anassis's feet. Like, what's the right unit of measure? Just thinking of that. And then the last thing to think about is just answering these questions like, how do you take an accurate measure of length? Think about the ruler, where you need to start, where it needs to end, all that stuff. So have fun measuring. I cannot wait to see what you come up with, and I will see you guys later.